Hello viewers, today I'm going to go through a walkthrough of installing Keystone JS, a node-based web application platform. This is a tool along the lines of Ruby on Rails or Durandal, one of these tools that you just type a few commands and it sets up all this entire code base for you to get your website up and running really quickly. So let's jump right into it. As always, being on the fly, this is probably going to be a slow walkthrough, so feel free to increase the speed to 2 times the normal rate to probably get through this at a more reasonable speed. So here I am on the main web page, and there is just a bunch of stuff on it, but if you click on Get Started, it's going to take you to a pretty normal walk through step by step. Now, of course, you're going to have Node.js installed. The thing you might not have installed is MongoDB, and that's going to be kind of the caveat for this. Make note that I'm on a Windows 10 machine, so I'm going to go through the Windows 10 procedure for installing MongoDB. So if we go to the MongoDB site, and we look at the site, let's see, here's a download tab, and it automatically goes to enterprise server, but you probably want to go to community server, and in the community server it works on Windows Server 2008, which is Windows 7 or later. So if you have Windows 7 or later, it's going to work. You can download the MSI. I've already done this, so I'm not going to go through it. And you go through the installation wizard, and it's pretty simple. There's nothing special that happens, so just go through it, and then it installs. After you install the package, nothing will happen. So the thing with MongoDB is you install the database, but it's not actually started for you. So that's the trick. You need to start the Mongo database, and you do that by going to the installation directory, which for me is the C drive, programs and files, MongoDB, server, 3.2 bin. In here, and you would find all this through the documentation, but I'm just telling you to make it easy. There is a MongoDB exe, so we can run that. And this is what is going to actually start the server, and it's going to listen on localhost on port 27017. That's the default port for MongoDB. And any tool that uses MongoDB is going to know that and be automatically set up for that. So let's continue on. So let's see, back to the Keystone documentation. It says npm install the generator. So these are very simple npm commands that is pretty standard to this whole process of creating node apps. So what you're going to want to do is go to your set up a directory that you want to use to store your project. And I just have one called Keystone example. It can be wherever you want. You open a command line pointing to that root directory, and you're going to install the different npm packages. So we won't go through this, but because I've already done it, but it's nothing, there's no little quirks about this. You just simply run these commands, and it's going to generate a series of files, a lot of them, and it's going to take a while. So be prepared to wait like 5 to 10 minutes for everything to install. And so once you install that, see in the directory, it's gonna, well, let's see. Let's run the, okay, so let's run the actual command that creates the entire project for you so we can see that. Okay, so we just say yo. Oh, side note, let's start with this first. You have to have a Yeoman installed. So the instructions first say to install Yeoman. It's just another npm package, and you're going to run this command, npm install -gyo, which will install it globally. Can do that here, even though I've already done it. It won't hurt anything. And now you'll have this Yeoman tool available to you globally anywhere on your computer. So you can run it from any directory. So let me fast forward that. All right, so Yeoman has finished installing globally. Now we can continue on with the instructions, and it's just the, let's see, so we're gonna issue the Yeoman command, which is yo, and then the name of the template to install, which is Keystone. This is what's gonna take a while. So it is downloading a bunch of stuff, creating a bunch of files, but at some point, first it's going to ask you what you want your project. It's going to go through a wizard asking you a bunch of questions. So let's just name it Keystone Example. Would you like to use Jade? Unchuck. Be careful with the template you pick because these template tools are really different. And so I'm used to using handlebars. It's a more simple, traditional one. Like Jade is really awkward, very odd, so you might not be used to it. So you might want to pay attention to this one. CSS processor, don't care. I'm going to go with the default yes for the rest of them. Enter email address. Make note of the email address because this is how you're going to log into your site. So you're going to have a user at keystonejs.com, which is your default one. I'll put my real email address. Then please use temporary passwords as it will be saved in plain text and change after first login. So I'll just put in password. Make sure you remember that so that you can log into your admin site when it's generated. Don't need gulp or grump. Those are kind of outdated. Would you like to create a new directory for your project? No. I already have a specific directory for it. I don't need another one. I don't know what all that is. These are some external tools that it includes. And now it's going to do a ton of stuff. So I will skip this. Should not run into any issues with this process. All right, it is done. That took about 10 minutes. So after everything is installed and it's ready to go, it says to start your new website, just type node keystone. Now, if you did this and your MongoDB server was not running, your Keystone website would not start. It needs MongoDB to be on and listening for communication in order to work. Now, side note, when working with MongoDB, there is another tool that you can use. It doesn't come with a graphical user interface by default, but you can install something called Mongo Compass. And this is, you just download it, install it, and it will give you the typical GUI interface that allows you to see the structure of your database and the tables in it. So I open it on Windows 10. we can connect to it. And the localhost and 27017, again, are defaults. Connect to it. Trying to get connected. Okay, how's this going on over here? For some reason, something is stalled. Okay, that just took a little bit to come up. I actually had to restart it. I paused the video, so what I did was do a Control-C to stop everything, and then I just ran it again. For some reason, it was not connecting to the MongoDB server, so now it is. And if I go to the typical localhost 3000, you will see your default website. So it allows you to sign in. What did I put in? Put in password. Maybe case sensitive. Oh, not working. Not sure why that's happening, but so if we go back here and let's go to an editor. I'm using Visual Studio Code. You can see all the auto-generated folders. Your typical package JSON. The entry point is Keystone.js, which imports Keystone, the actual package. Yeah, so you can see that it's importing your handlebars template, and there's just a bunch of stuff in here. I'm not going to go into it. You can see typical like routes, views. It uses these view things instead of models. The templates. You can see typical handlebars template. And everything is well and good and working. So that's it. I'm not going to go into the actual how you build up your site. Maybe if enough people care to see that, I'll make another video. Leave a comment, subscribe, let me know. Until then, bye-bye.